Welcome. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if this video has helped you in some way. Feel free to browse the description box below and to share your comments. Today, I'll be discussing identifying narcissists in conversations. Narcissists, their main, what I would consider modus operandi or way of operating is to fool people around them. You know, come off as something they're not, or somebody or a persona other than who they really are. They craft this fake personality in order to connect with others, just to connect with people, and then abuse the person in some form or fashion. This facade or this fake persona is what makes it so hard to identify narcissists, just generally. So that's the point of this. The main point of this video is that there are important cues that should not be ignored that you can look out for, and these cues give up a narcissist's fake facade, if not 99% of the time. Okay, so it should be very, very helpful to you. So let's begin. There are going to be 5 that I'm going to list today, but there's definitely more, and we can pursue that in the future. Number 1, the narcissist confides in you immediately. Another way to put it is premature revelation, right? So the reason they really do this is they want to come off as, transparent out the gate, when meeting you, trustworthy. They want to come off as vulnerable. They also want to come off as powerful and, mysterious, because it's coming from what they're actually saying. It depends on what they're divulging to you. Is there something they're telling you, that like a sad story, something bad that happened to them that makes them feel like, poor old me, or innocent little me? That's that vulnerable, transparent, helpless persona they want to come off and let you kind of soften up, kind of tenderize you with that, and make you sort of let down your guard, so to speak. And then the powerful, mysterious side, perhaps they're telling you that they're in some kind of secret something, maybe society, or have some secret information from whatever their field or job is, or career, social club they're involved in, that's members only. It depends on what they're talking about, what subject they bring up in conversation. They kind of just give you too much information. It's like, oh, I didn't ask you about that. They freely divulge, intricate details about themselves, even before knowing much about you, if anything at all. They just, even within a few minutes, this can happen, of meeting a narcissist. So another reason why they do this is because they want to gain sympathy, and it's another way they force intimacy. Force that quick closeness with somebody, or they want to give that feeling off, like, oh, I've known you for such a long time, or we can, I can relate to you so easily. So that's that forced intimacy. They want to impress you with the stories they tell, the information they reveal, things they share with you in conversation. They want you to be impressed. Probably they're sharing, what they drove, or how much they paid for their new car or house, or the watch that they're wearing, or the earrings that they're wearing, something like that. Like, or probably the school that their kids go to or their child attends. Like, they're trying to impress, seem powerful. And the thing is that the quicker you fall for this facade that they're airing out to you, the faster it is for them to get to the next stage of the manipulation tactics they use. Because they do this all in phases or stages, however you want to get. So And another thing is that the timing is key. This is how you can identify this first flag. Timing is key. Like I said, within minutes, a very short period of time, they'd be divulging stuff to you that in a healthy situation you shouldn't have known about for months or more. So that's kind of how you can judge that. So number two is they just end up repeating the same information, and you're looking around like, didn't you just tell me that a few minutes ago, the same thing? And it's not unusual, even for normal healthy persons with healthy self-esteem, to sometimes repeat or say something again that they may have forgotten they had mentioned in the past. If you're in a long-term relationship, you hear stories over and over from your significant other or family members. When they get together, they say the same stories over and over, or because they, naturally either they forgot or wanted to reiterate a point. But the difference between a healthy person and a narcissist is that the type of info that they're giving, that they're repeating. There is like, one, they're repeating it, and two, what are they repeating? When those two go together, that's kind of how you could cipher out the healthy versus the unhealthy. For instance, the information that they're repeating is very self-serving. It's about them. They're repeating it to let you know that, hey, did you just hear what I said? Like, I paid $109,000 for my new vehicle out there. Like, it's very self-serving, and it's sort of like they're using a script, and this is probably why they would forget it, because if something is a running script in your mind, you just like, the script is going to eventually run out, right? Unless you're uh, operating system and you have endless gigabytes, but the script is going to eventually run out. You only have a certain amount of capacity being as a human being, so in your brain. So it's going to run out. They're going to come right back to the beginning of the script and repeat it, and that's what happens. Another reason why this happens is because they see everyone pretty much the same. They see the person they're trying to con or manipulate as one dimensional, not special. They don't see you as unique. Use the same script on so many other people in the past that to them you're just another person. They see you all as objects, and they don't look at it as, oh, I'm talking to this this unique individual and sharing something that I'm comfortable sharing with this particular person. No, they're running a script that can be ran with anyone, no one special, no one particularly. So that's kind of why it's like, okay, you just said that, and it doesn't register to them. And this happens so often. So number three, pretty much don't ask personal questions, and if they do, it's rare. So it's sort of like, if you were left in a conversation feeling that you know a lot about the person you're in conversation with, but not feeling that you've shared much about yourself, or they don't know that much about you, definitely something to question and definitely flag. If you find like a person asking very pointed questions or specific questions. So, like I said before, it's sort of like the script that they have. They're running it. They don't want the script to be interrupted. And that's kind of why you're learning so much about a person, because it's like they're acting, which is what they're doing, acting and reading from a script in their mind that they have rehearsed and recorded, and it's just spilling out. They're just regurgitating it. It's just, coming out. That's just the way they work. It's sort of like a robot or some type of a machine. So, but then the flip side of that is that if they're asking too much information, then this is the case where the narcissist might be mining for something. They're mining for information, trying to learn about you, not in a sincere way, trying to find out about your vulnerabilities, trying to scratch and dig to find out about your stressors, things that stress you, maybe problems you're having in your life, your likes, your dislikes, etc. And they're doing this because they're trying to figure out what can I use against this person, either now or in the future. And the other reason they're doing it is because they want to pretend to offer help to you. They want to gain your trust. It's sort of like they're searching for that chink in your armor or that crack in your foundation or that door that, is left ajar in your soul or in your life at that particular time. And that's why they would ask very specific questions about you, when they're mining for info. And then that's also why they don't ask questions, because they're just running off a script. They're just talking, 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 trying to gain your trust, get in there. Not really not really trying to know you in a sincere, genuine way, right? They're just talking about themselves, very self-centered, egotistical. And even when you try to interject, the conversation might, run right back onto their script. They kind of let you say what you have to say, but not necessarily acknowledging it. And they just move on to what they were just about to say before you interjected something about you, perhaps. So, number 4, they ask for special favors. This is when they want to feel significant or worthy, so they ask you for something special and see, if you'll do it. And it makes them feel like, they're alive and someone pays attention to them, someone will do something for them actually. And they're worth something, someone responded to their request. A normal or healthy person would ask specific, for special favors out of a genuine need for something. Like, I actually need you to help me. Whereas the narcissist might ask you to help them with something where they actually have options. They have other people either to help them, they have the finances to do it on their own, they have this, they have that, but they ask anyway. Whereas a genuine healthy person may not have anyone else to go to or don't have the means or the like. Narcissists also feel entitled. They have needs that they want to meet. They want their needs met, and they're going to have you help them meet them. And that's basically what that boils down to. So, and then another part of that too is that they're testing you. They want to see, if I ask her to do something or if I ask him to do something, how willing are they? They want to like jump up and down on your will to do something for them, right? How soft you are, how giving you are, how compassionate you are when it comes to their requests, because this will let them know the trajectory of a relationship with you or a friendship with you in the future. Because they don't want too much of a challenge. They need to be acknowledged, validated. They're very entitled. And they also are practicing breaking your boundaries. So, when they ask for special favors, that's another way that they're finding out what your boundaries are and how you would respond if they tried to step on them, step over them, or just trample on them and crush them. So, however you respond is kind of them getting more and more and more information. They have so many methods of doing this. And lastly, number 5, narcissists would make very odd statements or have very odd behavior in conversation. So if you're paying attention in conversation with a narcissist, if you find yourself kind of thinking to yourself or saying to yourself, say what now? Or what did you just say? It's like they make statements that kind of take you by surprise, kind of take you aback a little bit, make you think for a second. Like, did you just say that? Oftentimes these type of comments have like a double meaning. All right. So, and it also comes down to, like couching, which is a very, very manipulative and abusive tactic where, someone would say something that seems like a compliment, but is sort of backhanded or has an insult attached to it in a way. So, for instance, if you're at a family gathering, a narcissist may, be with your family and say something like, "Oh, well, um, I see that you're the smartest, in the bunch," or something like that. It's sort of like you may feel complimented, but then they're like putting down your entire family, like insinuating that your entire family is stupid or something like that, or ignorant, or so it's like, they couch something harmful or insulting in something seemingly kind or complimentary. So, with sarcasms and put downs, you'd hear certain things that don't seem to fit in a smooth running of a conversation. It's kind of like that wasn't necessary, like where that wasn't called for. Where did that come from? You have to question sometimes, like certain comments that you probably wouldn't necessarily say because it's not something that is on the healthier end of the spectrum when it comes down to day-to-day conversations. Perhaps putting you down, putting themselves down, putting other people in your surroundings down, gossiping, putting people who are not even in close proximity to you or in your environment, just putting them down, being negative or sharing information about even other people who to you that maybe they heard in secrecy or the other person confided in them. You just things that you don't expect to hear just in a general conversation. So, or that you feel like should not be shared, especially initially meeting or conversing with someone. They may also invalidate things you say in conversation. Sort of like you'll be talking and then they kind of like when you're done you're ignored. They ignore you, move on to what else they had to say. I think I mentioned that earlier. Or don't really respond to a question that you may ask or pretend to not have heard the question and move on, change the subject. Um, it's sort of like invalidating your side of the conversation or your input in the conversation. Other behaviors would be, narcissists would pretend to be distracted, actually checking their phone often. It might even be as a word as whistling, while you're talking or in conversation, to not to be able to connect certain subjects in conversation. For instance, you may be talking about, the summertime and ice cream, and they have no clue how was that connected. You try it, and they have you going around in circles trying to break down how summertime and ice cream is related, and they're that would turn into all this drama and the conversation that's not necessary. So, once that begins, I admonish that you steer way clear of that. If somebody doesn't get, for instance, how reckless behavior and jail time are related, like just drop the subject because either they're not intentionally getting it or they're complete nincompoop. There's no need to expend your energy in that way. And so you're not allowing them to suck you into their web, into their world of chaos and confusion, uh, which is, something they do naturally and which they enjoy doing because the attention is focused on them. You're focused on now trying to convince them of something they're not interested in. They're showing you that I'm interested in it. And then you're also trying to get them to or have them validate your side of the conversation, and they're not doing that. Or you're sitting there and allowing them to insult you or your family or another friend or people around you with sarcasm and put downs or gossiping, and you're just kind of like betraying yourself by just staying there and accepting it or taking it or allowing them to do that in your presence. So, you have to be authentic and um, upstanding and just, not engage with that person, excuse yourself, or maybe cut the conversation short, go and do something else, or not be, don't be as in so engaged in it, kind of become begin to disengage yourself from the conversation, realizing that this is definitely not a healthy conversation. So let's go over the 5 again. The 5 are: number 1, confides in you immediately. Number 2, so repeating a statement or multiple statements. Number 3, asking no personal questions, slash, or asking specific questions. Number 4, asking for special favors. Number 5, making odd statements or displaying odd behavior during conversation. So there are the 5 to look out for if you want to try to identify a personality disordered entity pretty early on in conversation. These are good ways, very effective ways to do it. Thanks for being here, letting me share that. Until next time, bye-bye.